Chapter 2 Awakening. The sun was strong this morning as it shone down hard and bounced its reflection back off the watery sand. It took one last smash of a final wave from the incoming tide for Andee to awaken. He opened his eyes and was weary at first. As he collected his thoughts, his suit was changing back and forth as the tide came in and out, and the water lapped around his motionless body. He then turned to his left as he noticed something glisten and sparkle in the morning sun. As he tried to focus, he saw it was his mother's gold locket, gently drifting in and out with the early morning current. The sun shone down and made it sparkle as light bounced off of it. But it was about to drift off to sea. "The locket!" he said in a hurried voice as he finally came to his senses and sprung to his feet to grab it. He then stood on the sand, holding it tightly in one hand as he stared out to the wide and vast ocean in front of him. "Yolanda," he said in a soft and broken voice. He looked down at the locket, opened it up, and then stared at his parents in the photo. He then paused and stood there for a few moments longer. Clutching the gold locket in his fist, he ran forward, somersaulted, and then dived into the warm waters of Star Island. He powered through the water with a stern and determined look on his face. Tingo and Tango could see him shooting up towards them as they'd been playing nearby. "Andee!" They cheered in delight, so pleased to see their brother had returned. But to their amazement, Andee just shot past them. He didn't even notice his dolphin family. Tingo saw the look in Andee's eyes. She was shocked. She noticed that he looked different, older than before. Tingo cried out again as the wake of bubbles started to ease.
"Andee!"
But there was no response. The ocean was quiet again, and Andee had gone. Meanwhile, Andee was reaching great speeds now. "I have to get to the lost city," he said to himself. "I need to speak to the wise white dolphin." Faster and faster he went, zooming through the ocean like a torpedo. He then dived down deep towards the tunnels and caverns that led to the entrance of the lost city below. Deep, deep down below. He knew he was close as the water became icy cold. Soon, sure enough, he saw the watery light up ahead, and with great power and precision he burst out of the waterhole with a somersault, high into the air, and then landed on his feet on the rocks nearby. He stood there for a few moments, motionless. Then a voice loomed up from behind him. "Andee." It was the wise white dolphin. "It is good to see you again. I am glad to see you have made it back to us." Andee jumped around. "You have done very well on your quest," said the wise white dolphin. "You have begun your journey. You must succeed in returning the lost city back to its former self. You have discovered the Black Sea and the kingdom of the water spirits. The king hasn't got long to live, and we need the good of the mer people so that we can return the wealth and riches back to the lost city from whence it came. We need to harness the power of gold and other precious stones so that we can breathe life and energy back into this once great kingdom of the lost city." But, said Andee, stuttering, "how can I do this? You know how dangerous it is down there. I almost died. I think I was dead. If it hadn't been for Yolanda, I would have surely perished. How can I do this on my own? You know what happened. Tingo and Tango could never survive down there. No way. And I would never want to put my dolphin family in such danger. And Yolanda..." Andee looked down with a sad look on his face. "I've got to save her." "You were right," he continued, still with a gloomy look on his face. "She is the most beautiful thing I have ever seen. I promised her I would return. I promised I would save her and the kingdom." And with those words in his mind, Andee sat down on a nearby rock and was silent for a moment. Then he said, "It was you, wasn't it? Back there, in the Black Sea, talking to me. You said think and feel with your suit. Become one with your suit. You know and see everything, don't you? My parents are alive, but you knew that anyway, didn't you? Do I have to make a choice? Do I find my parents? How can I carry on this quest knowing that my parents are out there somewhere?" Andee looked gloomy as he struggled with his love for Yolanda and also his parents. "Andee," said the wise white dolphin, "these are not easy choices to make. But think about what your parents do. Think about how they make a difference to the world in their research and studies, to help humanity and cure the human race. Don't you want to be like your parents? You too can be like them, Andee, and make a difference to the world. In helping to return the wealth to the lost city and restoring order to the marine kingdom, you would be making a difference. You would have cured the ocean, restored the city, and breathed new life back into a once dead world. Your parents would be very proud of you, Andee, and maybe these quests will lead you on your way to finding your parents further." Andee had been listening intently and heeding the wise white dolphin's words as he sat there pondering to himself on the rock. Then, all of a sudden, he started to smile. And then the smile turned into a big grin. He quickly jumped up, springing to his feet, and then smacked his fist in his hand. "You're right," he said in a hurried and excited voice. "I shall make a difference. I will make my parents proud. I can be like them. And this would bring me closer to them. I am Andee the Aquanaut, guardian of the great seas and protector of all marine life." "Andee," said the wise white dolphin, "move towards the rock face behind you." Andee slowly turned around and moved over towards the rock face of the cave. As he got closer, sure enough, the rock started to move. He hesitated just for a split second and then realized it was another doorway into the lost city. The grinding of the hardened coral rock was deafening as the rock wall started to slowly move to one side. As it opened further, a bright flash shot out, blinding Andee's eyes as he quickly shielded his face for a few seconds. Slowly, once his eyes had adjusted to the flash, he saw he was wearing his suit again. But something was different this time. He looked down to his feet, and instead of seeing his flippers, they had gone. Now his suit seemed to mold around his feet, as if he were wearing booties. Glancing upwards, he saw the most amazing sight.